So this is Vibhanga Vinaya, Bhojanavagga. The content of the first test. This is the second year of Nisaya and second semester. Introduction to Bhojanavagga. So there's 4 Kalika Vibhagas, classifications related to time. And there is an extra one which is Akalika. No? So what are the 4? First is Yavakalika, second is Yamakalika, and then Sattahakalika and Yavajivika. Then apart from that we have Akalika. So Yavakalika, the first one, are edibles consumed for the purpose of Aharakicca that can be accepted and consumed from dawn till the end of noon, Majjanhika, also called Tita Majjanha, of the same day. Then there is a Pali definition here. Arunugamanato Yava Tita Majjanhika Bhunjitabbato Yavakalikam. Yamakalika, the second type in the Kalika Vibhaga, are essences or maybe juices of certain Yavakalikas consumed for pipasata, the purpose of quenching the thirst, from dawn till the end of the last watch of the night. So this is the definition of Yama. Yama here in this word, Yamakalika, refers to the entire day, from one dawn to the end of the last watch of the night. Definition was Arunugamanato Yava Yamavasana Pipasaya Sati Pipasachedanatham Patambato Yamo Kalo Asadi. Sattahakalika, the third type, are edibles that perform aharakicca, the function of food, but are not gross food, and they are recognized conventionally as medicine and can be consumed for bhesajata, for the purpose of medicine, for a period of 7 days. They were originally food, the Sattahakalikas. They became Yavajivika and then Sattahakalika. So it was a process changing the state of these foods. Oil extracted from Yavajivika, medicines, are also Sattahakalika. Okay. So now Yavajivikas, they are edibles that do not perform Aharakicca. They do not fall under other categories as well, and they are consumed for bhesajata, for the purpose of medicine, and they can be kept for life. Yavajivam. Akalika, on the other hand, is just water. It doesn't fall under any of the above categories. Akalika. The first 3 main categories that we could say the first 3 main categories are Yavakalika, and then Yavajivika, and Akalika. So then under Yavakalika, then we ended up having Yamakalika and Sattahakalika. So they could be boiled down to 3. Then there is these 5 Yama, or the 5 watches. Even though Yama in Yamakalika refers to the entire day, there are 5 Yamas. So the first is from dawn to noon, second from noon to sunset, and then the 3 watches of the night. The first from 6 to 10 p.m., second from 10 to 2 a.m., and the third from 2 to 6, around 6 a.m., whenever dawn breaks. The first one from 6 to 10 p.m. should also begin actually with, I think, the sunset. As soon as the sun goes, as soon as the sun is fully beyond the horizon. Okay. Adjoharaniya, edible or consumable items that can be consumed internally, Ajoharaniya. Okay, so it's like a common term for all of these edibles. Ajoharaniya. Time periods. So mainly 3 time periods. Kala, also called Purebhata, which is from dawn to the end of noon, including noon itself. Vikala, which can also be called Pachabhata, or also called Aparanha, which is from the end of the noon till the break of the next dawn. And Yama, from one break of dawn to the next, or from one break of dawn to the end of the last watch of the night. This is Yama. So Kala, Purebhata, has 2 parts. First is Pubanha, from dawn till the beginning of the Tita Madjanha. And Tita Madjanha, also called Madjanha, is the noon. So the noon is the period in which the sun is at the peak of its path in the sky. So there is in Dhammasangani, a Mahatera eats an entire meal at this time. So it gives the impression that this is like a short period of time, not just like a brief moment. So maybe Bhante suggested maybe 2 or 3 minutes, maybe. Tita Madjanha. Now Purebhata, also called Kala, has several has various meanings according to context. Purebhata. So in general, it could be said to be the time before Pachabhata. So Purebhata is the time before Pachabhata. But there are 4 types of Pachabhatas. First type is from the end of the meal until the end of the noon. This is one type of Pachabhata. And second is from the end of the meal until the dawn of the following day. Another Pachabhata. And the third is from the end of the noon till the dawn of the next day, which is Vikala. And the fourth is after the end of the noon until the sunset. That's also Pachabhata. So depending on the meaning of Pachabhata, Purebhata will also change. Now Vikala is the second time period, also called Pachabhata in some cases, as we've just discussed, also called Aparanha, because Kala is called has Pubanha and Madjanha, so Aparanha is Vikala. So this Vikala is from the end of the noon till the break of the next dawn. And Yama, the third one, is from one break of dawn to the end of the last watch of the night. Yama. Some words here is Suryugamana is the sunrise. Arunugamana is the break of dawn. Suryatangamana is the sunset. In the past, time was calculated using columns or sometimes other signs. These columns are called Kalatamba. Kalatamba. Now, some say that Kala applies to the time according to Jambudipa only, which implies that consuming food in Uttarakuru Dipa, for example, during Kala in Jambudipa is deemed acceptable, even though it is believed to be Vikala there. For example, it's Kala in Jambudipa, but it's nighttime in Uttarakuru. Then, according to this idea, this is an idea, but it's quite maybe impractical or difficult to, a bit questionable. Because there is this story of the Buddha going for alms in Uttarakuru, and I think it was nighttime, if I remember correctly. So it kind of matches this idea. Now, two types of paribhunjana, types of consumption. Two types of consumption. First is aharataya paribhunjana, And second is Satipachaye Paribhunjana. First is Aharataya, is consumption for nourishment, for removing the hunger. Aharataya Paribhunjana. Then some words here are Aharata, is the benefit or the function of food, Ahara, nutriment, or also called Amisatta, or also called Ahara Kicca, the function or the purpose of food. Jigacha Harana is to quench the hunger. It comes from Ghasati. Jigacha Haranataya would then be for the benefit of quenching hunger. Which edibles can be consumed for Ahara Kicca during the kala of the same day they were accepted? All of the edibles, all of the Ajoharaniya. Yavakalika, Yamakalika, Sattahakalikas, and Yavajivikas. Of course, Akalika as well. Which of them can be consumed for Ahara Kicca during the Vikala or on another day after the day on which they were accepted? For Ahara Kicca, none of them can be consumed in this way. Okay, this was Aharataya Paribhunjana. Satipachaya Paribhunjana, we just have two words here. Pipasatta, which is the function of quenching the thirst, Pipasatta, and Bhesajata, for medicinal purposes. So basically there are these two Paribhunjanas, but you could also say Attas are three. Aharata, Pipasata, Bhesajata. Basically, no? Now, at what period of time and for which purpose can each of these edibles be consumed? So first, Yavakalika can be consumed during Kala of the day it was received. So it can only be received during Kala and consumed also during Kala. The purpose is for any purpose. For food, for quenching thirst, or even as for medicine, it doesn't matter. Even for fun or for the sake of the taste, even though it's not recommended. Yamakalika, the second type, it can be consumed the same day it was received, during Yama, and for the purpose is normally Pipasata. So you can consume it for Pipasata during Kala or during Vikala. And you can as well consume it for Aharata, but only during Kala. It seems like it can also be taken for Bhesajata. Sattahakalika. It can be consumed for up to 7 days, and the purpose is normally Bhesajata, which can be taken at any time during those 7 days. But it can be taken for Aharata during the Kala of the day it was received. Yavajivika can be at any time for life, and the purpose is Bhesajata as well. It can be taken for Aharata during Kala of the day it was received as well. Akalika water can be taken at any time for any purpose. Water is technically Bhesaja, but not in the sense of like Yavajivika Bhesaja. It doesn't count as accepted even if done so. Doing Pachavekana for taking water is encouraged by some teras, but not needed, not necessary for sure. Other medicines must be taken only after having done Pachavekana, otherwise it's a Dukkata offense. So even though Akalika water is a Bhesaja, Pachavekana is not necessary. 3 Mukhadwaras, 3 entrances. Mukha is the entrance of the mouth, the lips. For example, in the Sekya rule, na hate kabale mukhadwaram vivarisami sikha karaniya refers to the lips, Mukha. Second is Galanalika Mukhadwara, also called Paragala Mukhadwara or Kantanali Mukhadwara. This is the entrance to the esophagus. Mukhedwaram Mukhadwaram. So in this Mukhadwara, only Patigahita edibles can go through. Nasikadwara is the third type of Mukhadwara. Nasikadwara Mukadwara, is the nostrils, and any medicines that go through this nasopharynx cavities into the esophagus must be offered, must be patiggahita. These are the 3 Mukadwaras. One important term is ajohara. So ajoharaniya were the edibles. Ajohara is the act of swallowing. There is, for example, in this passage, ajohare pachityam. There is a pachitya for each and every act of swallowing. Patiggahita, as I've said, is accepted items. Now, how to determine whether an edible is yavakalika or yavajivika? If it performs the conventional ahara kitcha for humans in a particular region, it should be considered as yavakalika in that region. If not, it is a yavajivika in that region. So the Pali is this: yankinchi mulang tesu tesu janapadesu pakati ahara vasena manussanam kadaniyattam bhojaniyattam cha parati tang yavakalikam itaram yavajivikam. In the Vinaya Lankara, some edibles, it is said that some edibles may be yavakalika in one region and yavajivika in another. Yes, that is due to the difference in the nutrients in the soil, bhumirasa, patavirasa. Maybe we could also say depending on culture sometimes. Some teachers, this is extra, are of the opinion that if a certain food performs ahara kitcha for humans in a certain region, it should be taken as yavakalika in all other regions. This is just the opinion of some teachers, but not usually applied. 5 aspects to be known about these ajoharaniyas, edibles. First is patiggahana, the acceptance of these edibles. Sanyojana, the mixing of these edibles. Attha, the purpose of consuming them. Ajoharana, the consumption of edibles. And parichajana, the relinquishment of these edibles. So these 5 aspects that should be known. Now yavakalika, zooming into yavakalika. What is their main characteristic? They are conventionally consumed for aharataya, for aharata, for the benefits of food, for quenching hunger. Is it an offense to consume them, yavakalika, for the purpose of rasa, rasata, for the taste, or davata, for fun, or even to satisfy the desires of the donors? There is no offense, but it is not recommended to do so. And here the Puttamangsopana Sutta is an example of how we should eat. Puttamangsopana Sutta, the story of the parents who had to eat the flesh of their son during a trip in the desert. What happens if it is kept after midday? If kept after midday, nothing happens. But if it is then consumed during Vikala, then it's a pachitya offense. If it is kept overnight, then it becomes sanidhi, which is like stored. And if it is consumed, it's also pachitya. Sanidhi means stored. Okay. 2 types of yavakalika. First is kadaniya and second is bhojaniya. Kadaniya is all the yavakalikas other than the panchabhojana. Then some examples which were not necessary to know are, for example, yagu, cooked with pubana or aparana grains. Aparana grains themselves are kadaniya. Then there are several Pali terms over here. Sakkali modaka, Mula kadaniya, Kanda kadaniya, Mulala kadaniya, Mattaka kadaniya, and some others. Kumasa, Sattu, and Matcha and Mansa. So Odana is boiled grains, boiled Sattadhanya, or Dhanyanuloma as well. So they are boiled. What are the Sattadhanyas? In Pali, Sali, Vihi, Yavo, Godhumo, Kangu, Varako, Kudrusako. In English, more or less, the translations would be hill rice or some type of rice. Second is also rice. Third is barley, wheat, millet, wild gram or beans, and a type of finger millet, kodo millet. Then there was a memory aid for the Pali terms. Salve a avó gorda na canga com uma vara no seu. Or for remember the English words, 2 rices were at the bar drinking beer, eating millet and wild beans with their fingers. Okay. Dhanyanuloma. What are dhanyan? So these are Sattadhanyas. No? Now Dhanyanulomas are 3 Pali terms and they are not explained. So Nivara, Baraka, and Choraka. So memory aid here is hindrances like Nivarana, Baraka, which remembers like excellent, and Choraka, thieves. So hindrances and excellent thieves. Bhatta is cooked grains, also type of Odana. Yagu is porridge, which is not Odana, unless it dries up and the marks of spoonfuls appear. Payasa is rice cooked with milk. Then there are different types. For example, Kira payasa or Ambila payasa, sour milk payasa. Another type of dish is Bhojayagu. It's a dish that should first be eaten and then drunk. Bunjitva patabbayagu. So like a type of yagu. So what is the main characteristic of Odana? After one scoops out a spoonful, the mark of the spoon remains, leaving like a gap. So regardless of what type of dish it is, as long as it has at least a handful of grains. If such spoonful marks cannot be seen, then it's like a yagu. It's not Odana. But if it cools down again and the marks appear, then it becomes Odana. How much grains must be present in a dish of other foods for it to be considered as Odana? At least a handful of Pubbana grains. And the marks of spoonfuls also must remain. So, is baked grains, steamed grains, or fried grains considered as Bhojana? No, according to Janaka Bivansa. Venerable Janaka Bivansa says that baking, steaming, or frying do not make them Bhojana. So this was Odana. Kumasa, second type of Bhojana, is half-boiled Sattadhanya. The third type is Sattu, with a double T, which is like flour. And it has 3 types: Kundaka Sattu, Chunna or Pitta Sattu, and Modaka, Gula or Puva Sattu. Kundaka Sattu, the first time, is broken Pubbana grains which were heavily roasted. Here, if slightly roasted or just merely heated under the sun, they are not Bhojana. Chunna and Pitta Sattu, the second type of Sattu, is like powder, but it has 3 types. It has no names, just an explanation. Pubbana grains is the first, which are heavily roasted, husked, and then pounded into flour. The second is Pubbana grains or infertile grains, which are slightly roasted, husked, and then pounded into flour. And the third is Pubbana grains, which are first husked and then roasted and pounded into flour. So only after being pounded do they become Bhojana. So memory aid here was heavily roasted, slightly roasted, husked, and roasted. Now, modaka, gula, or puva sattu, the third type of sattu. These are dishes made of sattu without recooking it. Made of chunna sattu without recooking it. So, for example, you take the flour of rice or wheat, for example, and you make a dish out of it without recooking it. If it is recooked, then it's not considered as bhojana. So, for example, if we take flour and we make bread by recooking it, then it's not bhojana. Okay. But if dhanya are simply recooked, then they are still bhojana. So, recooked rice, for example, is bhojana. But if sattu is recooked, then it's not bhojana. Here, some other information is husked dhanyas are called tandula. Husked dhanya. Dhanya cannot be accepted by monks, but tandula can. Tandula, husked dhanya, can be accepted. Now, here, like a summary, could be said to be heavily roasted are bhojana, slightly roasted if pounded are bhojana, if not pounded are not bhojana. Then here another terms are Pali terms is karapaka bhajitanam. These are heavily roasted, karapaka, and samapaka bhajitanam or bhajita. Karapaka bhajita, samapaka bhajita. Then the second is slightly roasted. Kara means like harsh, painful, or rough, hard. And bhajita means like roasted, toasted. Now the fourth type of bhojana is matcha. This is the flesh of any aquatic beings that would die if left on the ground. Mangsa, the fifth type of bhojana, is the flesh of terrestrial animals. Now there is 10 akapya mangsa satta, unallowable sources of not only meat but also hair, skin, blood, and bone. So altogether, hair, skin, meat, blood, and bones. The 10 are manusa, humans, hatti, elephants, assa, horses, sunaka, dogs, ahi, snakes, siha, lions, vyagha, tigers, dp are like other big cats like leopards, acha, bears, tarachas, hyenas. So consuming consuming of the first one, manusa, is a tulachaya offense, and consuming that of the other 9 is dukkata offenses. What animal products are allowed? We have sappi navanita, vasatela, kira dadhi, and takka. Sappi is ghee, navanita is fresh butter, vasatela is animal fat except human, milk is kira, dadhi is curd like yogurt, and takka is buttermilk. So these products are allowed from all living beings, including human. The only exception here was vasatela, which is animal fat, which cannot be consumed from humans. So vasatela is like animal fat, or also tallow. What type of edibles are these products? Vasatela, sappi, and navanita are sattaha kalika. Kira, dadhi, and takka are yava kalika. What type of meat or blood is allowed? Not raw. Amaka is raw. So raw is not allowed unless you're possessed by a non-human. The Pali is anujanami bhikkave amanusabhati amaka mangsam amaka lohitam. Not from akapya mangsa satta, those 10 animals are also not allowed. and not Uddisakata Mangsa or Patichakama Mangsa. The monk must not have seen, heard, or suspected that the meat or blood is Uddisakata or Patichakama. Uddisakata or Patichakama Mangsa is the meat of an animal that was slaughtered for the sake of offering its meat to any of the Sahaddhammikas. Pavata Mangsa, another term, is the meat of an animal that died naturally, or it was not slaughtered for the sake of offering its meat to any of the Sahaddhammikas. Amaka Mangsa is uncooked meat. Okay. Yagu with fish or meat is considered bhojana. Yagu with meat of fish gravy, on the other hand, or just gravy by itself, is not bhojana. Yamakalika now. What happens if Yamakalika is kept overnight? It becomes sannidhi, not nisargya, sannidhi. And if it's consumed, it entails a pachiti offense. Okay. Yamakalika has the 8 attapana, the 8 juices, which we're not required to memorize. They are, in Pali, ambapana, okay, mango juice, jambupana, rose apple juice, chochapana, banana with seeds juice, mochapana, juice of banana without seeds, madhupana, the mahua fruit juice, mudikapana, grape juice, salukapana, water lily roots juice, and parusakapana, sweet berry juice. Ambapana, jambupana, chochapana, mochapana, madhupana, muddikapana, salukapana, parusakapana. So these are the attapanas. Kuddakapalas are fruits included in these attapanas and those in conformity with them. For example, lime, oranges, tamarinds, and so on. Now, fruit itself, is it Yava or Yamakalika? Is Yavakalika. What about fruit extracts? These are also Yavakalika. But extracts paired with or added ambient or cold water are Yamakalika. Now the essence obtained by sunning, exposing to sun in water, is Yamakalika. Extracted by boiling with fire is Yavakalika. The extracted by boiling with fire, but then added water, ambient or cold water, is, according to Bhasatika, Yamakalika. 3 types of Yamakalika. Phalarasa, fruit juices, Pattarasa, leaf juices, and Pupparasa, flower juices. Phalarasa are all juices of Kuddakapalas with ambient or cold water or extracted by sunning. Then here an exception, of course, is Dhanyarasa. Now, Dhanyarasa with ambient or cold water, is it Yava or Yamakalika? It's Yavakalika. Dhanyarasa extracted by sunning is Yavakalika as well. Dhanyarasa extracted by boiling is Yavakalika. And the washing water of Dhanya, just as simply the washing water of Dhanya, is Yavakalika as well. Now, Mahapalarasa, the fruit of the Mahapalas, is Yavakalika. So these Dhanyas and Mahapala are together Sanuloma Dhanyarasa, the fruit of the fruit or the essence of grains, or those things which are in conformity with grains, which are the Mahapalas. No? Now, Kuddakapala Rasa, the juice of Kuddakapalas, are the juice is Yamakalika. Yavakalika juice mixed with water, again, according to Bhasatika, is Yamakalika. Now, gula by itself is allowed for the sick. And gula with water, gula is Satahakalika, like gula. And gula with water is allowed even if you're not sick. So it's like Yavajivika. So the Pali here is Anujanami Bhikkave Gilanassa Gulang Agilanassa Gulodakang. Now 9 Mahapala. They are Dhanyanulomas. 9 Mahapala. First in Pali. Tala, Nalikera, Panasa, Labuja, Alabu, Kumbhanda, Tipusa, Ilaluka, Pussa. In English, the translations are not very clear, but they are palm fruit, coconut, jackfruit, breadfruit, and then bottle gourd, also calabash. Then kumbhanda could be in Sri Lanka watermelon, or in Myanmar is a type of gourd, maybe pumpkin. Tipusa is maybe ash pumpkin, or something called kekiri, small kekiri. Ilaluka is kekiri, or a type of cucumber. Also I've seen to be melon. And pusa, cucumber. So the memory aid here was this: the palm and the cucumber doing 50 jumping jacks, eating bread with their 2 gourd-like balls, heavy as lead, and their cucumber touching the floor. Patta rasa, the second type of rasa. All juices of Yavakalika leaves with ambient or cold water, or extracted by sunning, except Dakarasa. Dakarasa is the drink of boiled Yavakalika leaves. Boiled means on the fire. So this is Yavakalika, not Yamakalika. These pattarasa are only applicable for Yavakalika pattas. Yavakalika pattas, not Yavajivika pattas. Now, Puparasa, the third type. These are juices of Yavakalika flowers with ambient or cold water, or extracted by sunning, except Maduka Puparasa, which is a special one. Maduka Puparasa is the essence made of mahua flowers. It's sometimes used for making intoxicants. Now, the following: are they allowed or not, and when? Extracted by boiling the flower with fire. This is Yavakalika only allowed during Kala. If extracted by sunning, also Yavakalika, unlike other things extracted by sunning. Now, if it is extracted with ambient or cold water is not discussed, but it seems like a Yamakalika. Maduka Puparasa, the juice of the flower of Maduka, is used for making intoxicants. Is it allowed or not? As soon as it is used for making intoxicants, it is not allowed at all. Now, fresh, dry, or roasted Maduka Pupa, the fruit, Maduka Pupa, the flower, and its molasses, pupa, and its molasses, are they allowed or not? Before it is used for making intoxicants, it is allowed only during Kala. So after Kala, it is not allowed. And if it is used for making intoxicants, it is not allowed. Maduka Palarasa, the fruit of the juice of the fruit of Maduka, not the flower, the fruit, is like any other juices, allowable juices. Maduka is the butter tree, also called mahua, Bassia latifolia. So one kind of general general principle is if it is extracted by boiling, then it is a Yavakalika. An Ekasanikanga monk, following this Dutanga, cannot take Yamakalika during Kala for the purpose of Aharataya. Otherwise, it would be like a meal. No, it would break his Dutanga. If it's together with the meal, then it's okay. Sattahakalika. 5 types of Sattahakalika. Sappinavanitam telam madupanitam. Okay, it's ghee, butter, oil, honey, and all the products of sugar cane without bagasse. Not only jaggery. So it also includes juice and resin. So altogether, panita is jaggery, juice, and resin of sugar cane. Jaggery. Kasata is the bagasse, the dry dusty pulp that remains after the juice is extracted from sugar cane. It's called bagasse. In Pali, kasata. So uchu kasata is the bagasse of sugar cane. This bagasse is Yavakalika. Now there are these 4 cases. Unstrained sugarcane juice, so it has kasata. If received by anupasampanna, samanera for example, who then cooks it into jaggery. What is this? Yava, Yama, or Sattahakalika? It is a Yavakalika. Now, second case, unstrained sugarcane juice accepted by upasampanna during Kala. Who then strains it, removing kasata, and cooks it. So is it samampaka? No, because the kasata was removed before the cooking. It cannot be used in vikala, according to Saratadipani. Cannot be used in vikala. So it's like a sattahakalika, but it can only be consumed during kala. It's kind of special. Vimati Vinodani suggests, this is an extra note, that the kasata becomes yavajivika while cooking. Furthermore, consuming it during the vikala seems to be a dukkata, not a pachitya. If it is cooked without having strained it, for example, the monk cooks it with the kasata, then this is dukkata offense, samampaka dukkata. If it is not yavakalika, it is not yavakalika. Why? Because the kasata was removed. And can it be mixed with yavakalika during the kala? Can it be mixed with food? No, because it was cooked by an upasampanna. Okay, third case. Strained juice, strained sugarcane juice without kasata. Accepted by anupasampanna and cooked into jaggery. This is sattahakalika. It can be mixed with food, for example, in the kala of the day it was accepted. It's the normal sattahakalika. And it lasts for 7 days, of course. Okay. Fourth and last case is a strained without kasata, accepted by upasampanna, and then cooked into jaggery by the upasampanna. This is also sattahakalika, but a little special. It cannot be mixed with the food because it was cooked by the upasampanna. It can, though, be consumed by itself for aharata during the kala. And then, of course, as bhesajata for 7 days. Okay. So there are these 2 types of uchupanita. With jhama uchupanita is the one made with sugar cane that was burnt, which is also sattahakalika. Jhama means burnt. Or kottita uchupanita, which is made with sugar cane that was cut into small pieces, crushed and cooked, and that contains very small pieces of kasata, bagasse. This is also sattahakalika because These small pieces are aboharika. Aboharika means like negligible or insignificant. So we don't consider it too small. Nikkasata uchurasa. This is the name for the Pali term for sugarcane juice without bagasse. It's also sattahakalika. Okay. Why is it considered sattahakalika? Other juices are normally yamakalika, no? But this uchurasa, nikkasata uchurasa, is considered as sattahakalika. Because in the Pachitya Pali it is said that the panita is the items produced from sugarcane. Panitang nama uchumhani battam. The commentary explains that all types of products from sugarcane without the bagasse or sugarcane pieces, then they are also included in the term panita. The sub-commentary then explains that sugarcane juice without bagasse is also sattahakalika. The third product of uchu is uchuniyasa, or also called uchujatu. This is the gum or resin of sugarcane. This is also sattahakalika because it's included in panita. So niyasa means gum, resin, or fluid, extract, and jatu means lac, gum, resin. Okay. So a little bit like the story of sattahakalika, it was first allowed to accept and consumed during Kala, but that was already allowed. And so then it was then extended up to 7 days and allowed to be consumed during Kala and Vikala. So that's the present ruling. If accepted on a Sunday, for example, when would it expire? And then what happens if it expires? So the sattahakalika expires on the dawn of the next Sunday. So that's 7 days. And it becomes nisagya. Not sanidhi, becomes nisagya. The monk entails a pachitya. And then if he consumes it, then it's a dukkata offense. So if he accepts the sattahakalika on a Sunday, on the dawn of the next Sunday, it becomes nisagya and he incurs a pachitya. On the first day that it is accepted, it can be mixed with the food during the kala and consumed for aharata. It can also on that first day be mixed with the yamakalika juices accepted on the same day and consumed during vikala for bhesajata. And then of course it can be consumed for bhesajata and any time until it expires. Finish sattahakalika. Now yavajivika. What is the main characteristic of yavajivika? It does not perform ahara kicha. Can yavajivika be cooked by monks? Yes, it can. Is pachavekana compulsory before consuming yavajivika? Yes, before consuming besajja, pachavekana is compulsory. So consuming it without doing pachavekana or without a reason is a dukkata offense. It is not clear how you should do this pachavekana, if you have to actually say all the words or just mentally or just having a reason is enough. It is not very clear. And okay, various types of yavajivika items. These are just examples. For example, types of medicine. Mula bhesajja, roots. Mulala bhesajja is like some type of root of the lotuses. Kanda bhesajja, tubers or yam. Mataka bhesajja, sprouts. Kanda bhesajja, stalks. Tacha bhesajja or kasava bhesajja, barks. Niyasa or jatu bhesajja, gums or resins. Panna or pata bhesajja, leaves. Pupa bhesajja, flowers. Pala, fruits. Ati, seeds. Pita, flour or powder. Bhesajjas. Okay, so basically all types of, all the parts of a plant. Akalika. Now, this was the, okay, now the Yavajivika is finished. Akalika, water. Should water be offered? No, even if offered, water does not count as an offered item. In case ashes or dust fall in it, it should be offered. Can water be mixed with other edibles? Yes, it can be mixed with anything at any time. In some cases, it changes the nature of the edible. For example, water mixed with fruit extracts, which are Yavakalika, makes the resultant essence a Yamakalika. Can seawater be used without it being offered? Yes, if there is no salt in the food, seawater can be added by the monk himself. You can also cook this seawater. Water is considered as medicine. How can it be consumed? Should Pachavekana be done? Yes, water is considered as medicine, but not like Yavajivika medicine. And it can be consumed as one likes without reason and without doing Pachavekana. So this concludes the topic covered by the first exam of the second year, second semester, Vibhanga Vinaya, the Bhojanavagga.